Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chip Trades here. What we're going to do today, we're going to look at this market outlook. Last week was just great once again. You know, also just putting into account the fundamentals that the market is actually bringing us, right? This new coronavirus, or, that happened in December around the 21st, it's now, pulling a lot of the JPYs, right? Reason of is because a lot of investors are looking for safe havens, right? When anything catastrophically happens in the economic system or anything, economically, or even if it's just affecting, worldly trades or just anything, the JPY is very, very responsive to those events, right? As we know, there has been reported a couple of, people that have passed away due to the coronavirus, and it's spreading. Like it's spreading worldwide. It's nationwide now, right? It's not only in the U.S., it's not only in China, but this is popping up in a lot of different areas: the UK, Finland, Philippines, Japan, a lot of these places, right? So the thing is, though, we still have to put into account when we're still going against the JPY, right? Reason is because we have to look at it at a economical standpoint. If you're going to be, say, a prime minister or a president or any of those suches, you don't want to see your currency fall, right? You don't want to see your currency just drop and be as low as it can. So what will actually happen is we, as the prime minister or the president or whatever such, we would want to actually reinforce that. We would actually want to go against it. So what would we do? We would print money, right? We would print a lot more money and we would put it more back into our system so that our economic system would actually flourish, right? Because a lot of things are just seeing a lot of signs. And also, the Brexit deal has went through, and the UK is officially broken from the EU, which is great. Great news for the GBPs. Also great news for the euros. There will be 11th month, I guess, readvising of what's going to actually happen when they separate from the EU. So let's jump into these markets. Let's check it out. And also, I forgot to mention the AUD, Australian dollar. As we know, there's catastrophic things that are going on out there also, which have to do with the forest fires, right? There's a lot of forest fires out there, and the forest fires are just, really hurting the people out there. So we will see that reflected right in the market. We'll see that as a reflection. So I'm going to use the golden chip today. Last week, like I said, we smashed it. We killed the market. We did really well. Even, like I said, weirdly, the fundamentals played out very well. We were looking for some gaps, and they happened, and they continued. So let's get it. Today, we're going to go over the AUD CHF. And you know what? Actually, before we start, the first one we're going to start is the AUD CHF. But can you, like, subscribe, share, send this to your friends, your families, to strangers, anyone that's trying to learn how to trade or that wants to get a grasp of what trading is or just what charts look like. I explain them very simply for people just so that you can understand this. You could take these strategies, or you could take what I say and just put it into your own strategy, right? You want to have your own strategy when it comes to this. You can use my strategy. It's very, very, very simple. So let's get to it. All right. For the first one, AUD CHF. For the second, we're going to go over the Euro CHF. And then for our last one, we're going to go over the AUD CAD. A lot of these areas are resistance support areas. So we're gonna be seeing some good, trades coming along here. Let me this is a big, huge bearish movement. But the thing is, like I was talking about, we would pump money into our systems if we're seeing our currency go so low. Okay? And this is, if let's just look out. Look at how far, the CHF. If the CHF wanted to fall all the way here, that would be very wild, right? That would be very wild. That's still about 350 pips. But I'm going to be quite honest. I don't see it really falling that far. I don't really see it going down to that wick area to even test it. But let's get it in. Let's check this monthly. I'm gonna box it in like I usually do, and you see how there's no wick, right? Because usually what I do is I do wick, right? I do the wick, top of the wick, and the bottom of the wick. Sometimes price will be so bearish or bullish that you just want to get where current price is. You see that very small wick that's there? So let's check it out. We go down to our weekly. All right. So that was our monthly. Our weekly is very bearish, right? It looks bearish. It does indeed. But like I was saying also, I believe that this will actually go bullish this week, right? Just we're dealing with, the AUD. So we're dealing with the forest fires that are going on out there, plus the coronavirus. So let's check this out. Let's go to the daily. And we can even see, using the golden chip, how very low this is. This is just very, look at this, very low. It's going to become, hyperbolic on the 4-hour. As we see, it's been slamming this bottom. It's just loving this bottom, right? So now let's look at the bigger picture, right? We're so low on support that this cycle even finished, right? The cycle finished. We get our stage 1 right here, right? We get our stage 2 to go back up to this resistance area, which is the monthly high. As we can see, the monthly high was there, and it just wanted to tank, right? It wanted to drop from our monthly high, came right down to a monthly low, and that drop right there is that stage 4. And as we know, stages repeat themselves, so we're back at stage 1, just as like this is, right? Just as this is. This is a stage 1, 2. You got your 3 at the top, right? Got our 3, and now our 4. Now back to our 1. Back to our 1. So I really want to see this go bullish this week, right? I want to actually I want to see how price reacts. I'm putting a Fibonacci levels. Okay. So our 61.8, I want to put that into account. Okay. I also want to put the 50 into account. Okay. Reason of is because once these levels either get hit or broken, we'll be okay. We'll be going up. So if these areas get broken, the 61 or the 50 gets broken, I want to take this all the way up to the 161, which is fairly up there. If you're not much of a swing trader or you can't stomach it, just take it to the 61.8 or the 50. That should be at least 180 pips, right? 180 pips to 220, which is nice. That's 220 to the 61.8 and 180 to the 50. And if price breaks these levels, we'll see a full swing of about 550 to 570 pips. Okay. That's what I see for the AUD CHF. So I'm going to also go into the euro. The euro month looks crazy. Looks crazy. We see, looks, just from observing, it looks like a very big pullback that happened, right? That was just a pullback, I believe. Like I was saying, the Euros, they're very excited that, the UK actually pulled from them. So let's get this monthly low, get this monthly high, make sure we're on point with it. Okay, let's go to our weekly. And as we were talking about before, you know how hyperbolic this is at the bottom, how it's just loving and touching this area. As you can see, the cycle has kind of completed itself too. We get our stage 1 that was here. We get our stage 2 that came up, got us a bullish movement. Then we came up here, you know, came to a strong resistance area, and that was our 3. And you know, the bearish movement was our 4. Okay, so as we know, history repeats itself. So we're gonna look for this to go bullish also because of the stage 1, right? Even if you wanted to wait for the monthly high to be tested, you know, you could be in there, you know, you could be waiting for some time, to be honest. But I'm going to be quite honest. I see this going bullish. This is even looking like a W formation that's wanting to be even created. If you wanted this resistance, which is, you know, the 1.07446 or 443, sorry, to be broken, we could take this right back up to the monthly high, which is about 130 pips, which is awesome, We don't know how the market's gonna, you know, open up also. So I see this just going a little bit to support, and then, you know, going up and breaking these levels. I'm gonna also put a Fibonacci in here. And that's our, you know, 38, which I believe will be broken. So I'm gonna take this, you know me. I'm gonna plot these levels, 61s and the 50s and the 161. So our 161 perfect. You know, it's right up there on that resistance area. So let's check from even the break. If we wanted to wait for the break, we can do that. You know, go up there at 130, and then from the break, we can even, you know, when you're into profit, just put your stop loss in. Honestly, just put your stop loss in. Make it a risk-free trade. Don't even, you know, just put your stop loss in. I'm gonna be honest. Just save yourself, because the markets have been very volatile, and if you aren't on the right side of it, you will see negative, right? You will see a huge drawdown, and drawdown doesn't mean that you're doing bad. Who knows what the market actually would do? What we do is we just put our information into account, and we run with the information that is given to us on these charts, through the language, through the fundamentals, through even the technicals, right? So we're just getting an observation of what's actually happened. We're looking on these higher time frames to see the bigger picture, and this is the bigger picture I see in my eyes, at least, right? So now let's go over. So I do see this go bullish. The Euro CHF, I want to see this go bullish, right? Hit a little bit of support, and let's take it all the way. Okay, so let's go over to the AUD CAD. AUD CAD also, and we also, you know, when these levels are being so approached, we don't know if it's going to consolidate. We don't know if it's just going to make a huge, you know, rejection. We don't know what's attended, right? We don't know what's attended. So let's go to this monthly. Looks like it's very bearish, right? It looks like it's very bearish, but it still hasn't, it's just consolidated. Like, it's within this level. It's just hanging out. Honestly, it's just hanging out within this level. Let's go to our weekly. As we can see, very consolidated area, and on the golden chip we have it going a little bit right down to our buy point, right? We got the buy that's here, we got our break resistance areas, but this is, it tried to break, right? Try to break that 78. It didn't, it failed. So what happens? Boom, we go right back to our support. When you see price, you know, just bouncing within these levels, you know it's consolidation, right? You're just waiting for your entry. You're waiting for the market to come to you for your entry, right? So that's another thing. You don't want to chase the market, definitely in these volatile moments. So let's go out to the daily, and I see this just going so beautiful. Like, I just feel like a huge rejection, a huge reversal is about to happen this week. So I'm excited about that. Let's go plotting this 61.8. You know me, the 50. And I'm going to plot my 161. Okay. And you want to keep these levels up because even if price comes to this 50, for example, and wants to make a retracement, you can actually just take these levels right back down. And all these could be entries or these can be stop losses. They can help you. They can help you in the long run. So let's see, from this support up to the 50 is about 130 pips. From this support to the 61, we've got about 170 pips. Into the long-term swing, if we see, this long-term swing happen, we'll take this up to the 0.9288. And we'll see about 400 pips, right? 450 pips, which is fairly great. Also, we have to put into account that election time is, coming around, right? 2020 election is going to move the market. Investors are very skeptical of what's actually going to happen and who's going to actually be running the United States. So we get a little bit of, how would I say, volatile, I would say, whenever this Iowa caucus happens on Monday, which is tomorrow. Honestly, everyone should tune in. If you're into the trade, if you're into the charts, or if you're looking to trade, you want to be known of what these events are actually happen, why, and you want to be informed. Honestly, you don't want to just be like, oh wow, what just happened, and not know what actually happened, right? Because then you will have an alternative. You will have a fallback. Okay, is this just a fundamental move? Because fundamentals can just disturb the market for a little bit. Does not mean that it's going to continue, or it's just wanting to, price has an agenda and it has a reason why it's moving, right? So you want to be informed of these things. You want to know what's actually happening. Okay. I can't stress it enough, cause I was, all technical, trader, all naked chart, no indicators. I made this indicator and it just made it, clear. But when it came to fundamentals, I had to gain that knowledge. I had to go on certain websites to learn about what these interest rates are doing, or what is this meeting doing, or there's all sorts of fundamentals. So I became more of a transitional trader, right? I started to learn fundamentals and technical. So that's how you really want to master these charts. That's how you really want to get on the right side, or just you want to be like I can't stress enough, like I say. I cannot stress enough, just look at what's actually happening, right? It does affect us. It does affect us traders. So I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in today. And I kind of want to you know what? I'm going to go over to Bitcoin a little bit. Reason why is because Bitcoin is just it looks like a very big, stage 3 that's happening, right? But that's on the 1 hour. If we look deeply, like long-term deeply, this is a 4 hour. So it's okay. It's some information. It does give us some information, but for cryptocurrency, you want to look at the long term. I believe around here, which is about a month ago or 2 months ago, when it came to a low, that was the impeachment day, actually. One of the impeachment hearing trials that happened in the it just went really bearish, and it just did a right to the turn. It was very noticeable, honestly, because of this very strong support area. And we just seen bullish movement since, right? And also, this coronavirus does move the cryptos because investors are looking for something to put, their money towards, safe havens. As I was saying, you'll see it in cryptocurrencies, you'll see it in the JPY, and you'll also see it in the gold. So once those are moving, something's going up. You know what something's going on. So I kind of just, wanted to share this with you guys. I have these two lines here because that's where, I have a couple entries around these areas. I did catch this bottom a little bit, but that was the past, so nothing really to worry about. But I do see Bitcoin really making its way up. Like, we seen that it hit 20,000. That's cool. I really see this going up higher, right? I see this going to the moon, like 45,000. Like, I really want this to just boom, 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 right? I want this to go really high. So this reversal candle happened, like I said, 2 months ago. Was the impeachment, and we see there's just a huge pullback. Honestly, came back, came to this strong area of support and resistance area, right? Support resistance area, and it just made its turn. This, I believe, is a 61.8. This is a 61.8 actually reversal. So that's on the monthly. So that's on a huge term. That's on a position trade type of turn, right? So see how bullish this was, right? This is 28,000 pips or something like that, 27,000 pips. Yeah, so I really do see this going up a lot more. So that was just something I want to share with you guys. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. I know I talked a lot about all sorts of things, but it's just things that you guys need to know, the things that I've learned also on my journey, that I wouldn't just put this past people, because you have to let the people know, right? The people need to know what's actually going on in these charts, right? So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you could subscribe, hit that subscribe button with that bell notification to the side. So every time I come out with a video, you can tune in. You can be the first one to tune in. I do weekly analysis every single week. So I do appreciate it, like I said. And this is Chip, and I'm out. Peace.